Friday edition of the Capital PTBO, the podcast. You can check us out wherever you do your downloading. And, of course, visit us live, 370 George Street at the Capital PTBO. Jordan Mercier here, alongside my main man, Mark Million, and producer, Maddie. Gentlemen, another beautiful Friday here in the city of Peterborough. How are you, Mark?
It's beautiful. It's hot out, no?
It is hot.
Oh, I love it.
Extremely hot.
It is a sweaty day.
Correct.
It is so hot out there. Lance Armstrong tested positive for Kool-Aid.
Easy now.
Had to get us off right at the start there.
Where's that sad trombone?
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's an old David Letterman bit from like 15 years ago. Whatever. A lot of stuff that we need to talk about. There could possibly be a major announcement coming up a little bit later on in the program. Of course, we're going to have an update on the $1,000 Bracket Challenge, sponsored by David Dixon, Regional Director of IG Wealth Management. We'll get your thoughts on the Bills and Rams clash to begin the NFL season, and the quiz topic, NHL Game 7s.
NHL Game 7s.
Being a little more topical this week than I have been in the past. But there is really no place, gentlemen, that we can start other than the Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay.
The Maple Leafs and the Lightning are going to game number 7 coming up on Saturday at Scotiabank Arena. Mark, you've been fairly confident, I'm going to say. There's been a little bit of bravado in your Instagram posts. You've been a confident Leaf fan all along.
Yeah.
Are you still confident going into Game 7, or do you feel like they really let one slip away in Game 6?
I would have been over the moon to have them get to Game 6, for sure, and win it. I think at the beginning, everybody, once we got to, I think there was a realization there for sure that this wasn't going to be an easy one. So you're going to get to 6, you're going to get to 7. Don't get me wrong. Leafs go down 2-0 last night on like a couple, like a curve foot, like holy smokes. This is the problem with this new breakout they do, right? You think you're being all suave and you throw the back pass, and before you know it, it's in your net.
Yep.
I would have, but to say that this is a one-game showdown, I'll take my chances. The Leafs aren't for me, they're not the infinite underdog here. Just our fandom, Leafs fandom, allows that to happen. So for me, I'm going to let it breathe. I'm going to live in the moment. Don't worry about Bostons of years past and Columbus, and that's okay. I've already dealt with those nuclear heartaches. Just live in it for now.
As a fairly neutral observer, in this case, definitely for show content, I'm hoping the Maple Leafs advance because I feel like more people are fired up for it. But you're right. First of all, this team is so much better than the team that played against Columbus or played against Boston in 2013, which people like to bring up. This isn't the same team. Like, it's apples and pomegranates, if I could be permitted that expression.
Absolutely.
I'm still confident of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and there are things that I've seen in the last couple of games being able to dig themselves out of holes that, to me, in the past, they don't come back and take a 3-2 lead last night. They go down 2-0 in an opposing rink, and boom, shut it down. Let's focus on the next one. I thought that was extremely positive. But there's twofold to that, and that is that I think the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm not that guy who, whenever the Lightning lose, it's something they did bad versus Toronto. Toronto's played really well at stretches. But I see these mistakes that Tampa Bay has started to make, and I wonder, it's almost as difficult mentally to complete a three-peat as it is physically. And you're seeing mistakes that you hadn't seen in the last little bit, being able to give up those 2 late goals at the end of the second period, for example, squandering the lead in Game 5 when really they could have easily been up 3-4-0 in the first period. So it's just one of those things where I think there's a good combination coming here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. At the end of the day, we know Tampa Bay is very proven in these type of scenarios. Toronto, not so much. But I agree with you, Mark, that there should be a level of confidence going home and playing in your building. At the beginning of the series, if I came up to you and said, all right, we can do this randomly, or I can give you a winner-take-all at Scotiabank Arena.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You'll take it.
I would have taken it every time, 10 times out of 10.
100%.
Because I didn't believe in, I thought this one was going to go right down to the wire. I still believe in what I said, weeks ago, that I think the Leafs have it. But I think you're 100% right. Like, there's part of me that I feel the angst for Tampa Bay, thinking that it's tied at 3, and here they're going into overtime. Maybe it's just my mindset, and maybe not the mindset of all the guys in the room, but you can't tell me there's not one guy in the room thinking like, holy crap, we got to win this one to grind out a Game 7 to get out of the opening round. To get all the way back to what we want to do. This is why 3 Stanley Cups, 4 Stanley Cups is so special. because the grind is unbelievable. It also wouldn't surprise me that if Tampa Bay wins tomorrow night, they get bounced in 4 or 5 in the next round. Like, all the gas has been, it's out of the hot rod, and, they're just running on fumes in opening round, or round 2.
But the thing is, everyone's gassed going into the second round because we've got the possibility for 6 Game 7s.
That's true.
Which has only ever happened
opening round.
Only ever happened in 1992, which is and that was a while ago.
Is that
of course.
right? Wow.
Yeah, we've already got 3. We could get 3 more tonight. So, and one of those Game 7s would be the winner of Washington, Florida, which is who's going to play the winner of Toronto, Tampa.
I don't like getting into like the what might have bees, like what may lay ahead.
Yeah.
But if the Leafs get a bye Tampa, does either of those 2 teams, Florida or Washington, scare anyone?
I got ripped apart in the office this week by a couple of people who fancy themselves hockey experts, including ravishing Rick Elliott. Because I said, if you're Toronto, in the Eastern Conference, this is the best team that you're going to play. He said, well, wait a minute, Carolina and Florida and all this stuff. I said, no. Would you take the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers in a 7-game series? Tampa Bay.
Right.
Would you take Tampa Bay or Carolina in a 7-game series? Well, Tampa Bay. They're the best team Toronto is going to see en route to possibly making to the final. And that includes New York or Pittsburgh possibly as well.
Great example.
So for me, I believe that the winner of this series would actually make it to the end. I hear what you're saying. Maybe, you tire each other out early. But ultimately, as Matt pointed out, like a lot of the other teams, and now we know Crosby, concussion, not going to play.
That's a big blow for Pittsburgh.
It's a huge blow, especially given his history. It's not going to be something that they're going to risk. So, I mean, that's one thing to kind of consider. Florida, I mean, they're up. They're probably going to put away Washington, but this is a team that always goes to the well being down 2-3-0 in games. You can only do that so many different times in the playoffs.
Right.
Yep.
So they haven't really blown my socks off either. And Carolina-Boston, that's just a series where neither road team is even in any of the games.
Yeah.
Like, it's like 4-5-1 every time they have to play on the road. So that's not a winning formula either because you have to go and win in tough buildings. So I'm interested in the mental state of not only the players, but the fan base. The Toronto Maple Leaf fan base.
My goodness.
For me, going on Twitter, not just during the game, but after the game, it's like Christmas.
Oh, my gosh.
It's
no kidding. It's nuclear on
insane.
Twitter. It's unbelievable.
Either they're the greatest ever or just the absolute worst. And then there's that core of fans that no matter what they do, it's not good enough.
No.
Should have done it differently.
Right.
So,
and that leads me, give me an example.
I've got a buddy of mine, big Leaf fan. He live tweets every game. And this was from Game 5 when the Leafs went down 2-0, then came back to win. Tavares is done, man. That contract is going to cost us for years. You can't tell me that this league isn't fixed. I want Keith gone. Get this guy out of here. This is a garbage ref show.
This is the 1950s quiz show scandal. That's what it is.
The Leafs could come back if they want to, but they don't care. Break up this core. They're losers.
They don't care.
And then an hour later, he goes, okay, I take it all back.
Yeah. All right.
Old takes exposed.
Yeah. When they go take the lead 3-2, never mind. Keith's a genius. Johnny T, he scores the second goal. Keep him.
Not that I like to go along with the fan narratives, but what has been your assessment of the officiating in the opening round? It seems after every game so far, there's been a few puzzlers. Some of the games were called closer than probably most people like. And then others are saying, well, yeah, call the rule book no matter what. I've never totally subscribed to that. I think games need to breathe a little bit more in the playoffs. But what has been your take overall? And then we can get into some specifics.
I think overall, I don't like it. I like the idea of, I know the whistle generally gets stuffed in the pocket. The whistle was stuffed in the pocket for overtime. There wasn't a single penalty called after the Leafs 5-on-3.
Yep.
And we could all argue as to the merit. I know Kerfoot, like it's hard when you get it stuck in Hedman's jugular. Okay, fine. And I know you got to be responsible for your own stick. But anyways, there was no penalty called. The Leafs are the number one penalized team in the postseason. And again, this isn't soapbox fandom crap. Check where they finish in the regular season. Like, they're in the bottom half of the league. So now all of a sudden they're the number one exposed team. I think on the whole, I was surprised Bettman had said in the last 10 years that penalties have continued to increase in the postseason. As a fact. It's hard to imagine. So the narrative either comes from the league or the director of officiating or whoever it does to say,
series supervisor, whatever.
Yeah, okay, men, listen. Going to be a little bit more careful on the hooking. Guy puts a stick immediately across the guy's put the hand up.
Yep.
we're not going to allow for any nonsense. And then guys still get cross-checked in the face.
Yeah.
And you get a $5,000 fine. Okay. So we're not going to suspend anybody, but we're going to hammer guys with 11 power plays.
Difficult third period. And if I was a fan of the Maple Leafs, I've at times, been accused of being very hard on the referee storyline. But, I mean, the first high stick to Kasha, right?
Yeah.
Turns out probably not.
Yeah.
Shoulder, head goes back.
Yeah, come on.
Ref just... Which, by the way, we can do a reffing pod where, to me, I can understand missing a call.
Yeah.
I can't understand calling something that didn't happen because you didn't see it. The referee at no point saw that stick actually hit that guy's face. Instead, he's reacting to the theatrics of it. Okay, we'll put that aside.
I think you should just always play so well that the refs don't matter.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know about this chin strap rule. So Braden Point on what ends up leading to the tying goal, zigging and zagging around, but he's got the chin strap undone. And apparently the play should have been blown dead and possibly a penalty for illegal equipment or something like that. That's new to me. I knew if your helmet goes off, you now have to go right to the bench. You can't stay in the play, which they used to do all the time. But just because it's new to me, on the ice, you can literally see Mitch Marner pointing.
Yeah.
After the goal is scored, almost immediately, Jason Spetz is in the referee's face.
Yeah.
And even on the television broadcast, they couldn't really figure it out. They thought it had to do with maybe Corey Perry's stick and Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
So that's another one that, again, Matt, I hear what you're saying. Should that ultimately be the outcome? No, but if you're going to call the rules, like that is a rule. It exists.
You can't
it's
pick
like
and choose.
the Doc Rivers timeout.
Yeah.
The Raptors thing where... Okay, it's a black and white rule. You can't play with a chin strap undone.
Right.
And you can't call a timeout out of the coach's box.
Right. Yeah, so what you going to do? What you going to do?
Yeah, but like if there's something like a roughing penalty, a lot of times they'll give a guy a warning before they blow the whistle. And you can do that with something like the chin strap too.
No, you can't.
Braden Point, take your glove off and do up your chin strap.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
No, you can't. If it's black and white, if the chin strap is off and it's part of the equipment and it's in the rule as such, like Friedge read in the end of the third, you come off. With some of my tooth there. Live Facebook, who knew? But the other side of it, like roughing is a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Like on another penalty, a hook or a trip is a matter of opinion. The guy maybe he embellished it. Maybe the guy really did get a stick in there, whatever. But roughing's an opinion. The chin strap thing's not an opinion. But I will say it's the most Leafs thing ever.
Yeah.
That is the most Maple Leafs thing ever, where, of course, they would score the tying goal, and there'd be a chin strap rule, and it was like, Friedge has to dig in the book, and it's actually number 9.3, subsection A, a rule that we've never called before, but the Leafs get it called. We've
got a couple
Leafs.
comments.
It's the Raiders tuck rule, right? Where
Right.
no one ever heard of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian Goldfinger, friend of the show.
Love you, Goldfinger.
Saw him on a bus driving by about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He said hashtag hockey rules like Law and Order.
I love that.
Bob Walling, Rapid Robert,
geez.
responsible for that brand new on-air sign that we're not using.
Yeah.
Says, get Dan Morton, stag 1,000 games in the NHL. Give the officials a break here and there.
Dean Morton.
Dean.
Oh, he said Dan. So
Nope.
you got that completely
Who also
wrong.
played a game with the Red Wings.
Correct.
Bob- scored a goal, I think.
Bob also wants to know if there's a penalty for a loose jock strap.
Easy.
Good question.
No.
Easy.
I don't know.
Who's
You
going
would
to check
know.
that one?
Yeah.
Shout out Dean Morton, Peterborough, 1,000 games, did play one NHL game, scored a goal. One of 3 men ever.
Is that right?
Yeah.
List is small, eh?
Yeah, the list is very small. Rolly Heward is one. Dean Morton is one. That'll be next week's trivia. Guys who played one game and scored one
Is
goal.
that the greatest goals per game in NHL history?
Oh, I mean, that's a pretty good average. One.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
So there was a moment in that third period, and I thought this going into the game, and I don't care what the overall statistics say because it's distorted by one game, but there was a point where I said, Jack Campbell has played better than Andrei Vasilevsky in this series. I am more confident as a casual observer when the puck is going towards Jack Campbell. He's quiet in the net. He wasn't giving out much in the way of rebounds. I don't blame him. I guess the Paul goal, I mean, maybe.
Sure.
But I think overall he's played extremely well and exceeded my expectations. Mm-hmm. There was a moment, though, where there was a flurry near the end of the third period when the game was tied at 3, where Vasilevsky made some nice saves.
Yep.
It seemed from that point on, especially in overtime, he looked like his old self. I don't know. I don't think he's played bad, but of course he's given up at least 3 goals in all the games.
Yeah.
Not something you'd expect from somebody who's won a Conn Smythe and is probably considered, with all due respect to the Carey Price fans who will hold on from the past, like I think he's the best goalie.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to argue with the credentials. But there was one moment in overtime I was like, whoa. He looked bigger. He looked calmer. He was eating everything. The Leafs weren't getting much in the way of rebounds, although they were, I thought, the better team in overtime. I thought they controlled it.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one going into Game 7 because I've been waiting for the one game that you need in a series or in a long playoff run where you get outshot 45-21, but your goalie just says, no.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. The great goalies have all done it. And we haven't seen that from Vasilevsky. So that's the one thing, if I'm a Leaf fan, I'm like, ooh, did he get his mojo back on that sort of late third period flurry into overtime?
Right. He has a losing record like most goaltenders or like most players would, I guess, or teams in elimination games. Like I think they showed it there last night. He's 1-3 in an elimination game. I know everybody knows the metrics. So like coming off of a win, they haven't lost back-to-back games in like 54 straight or
Insane
something.
stat.
Unbelievable
16,
numbers.
Yeah.
But that's the only. You're right. That's the only thing that worries me is that he looked terrific after the third period into the overtime. After he allowed the goal, he was fine. The only point to that is that he hasn't stole the show.
No.
He's not stole one. In fact, coming off a Stanley Cup win, Vasilevsky's 0-4 in his last 4.
Is that right? No, I did not know that.
He won the final against the Habs.
Yep.
Opening round game against the Leafs, bombed 5-0. Win game 2, lose game 3. Win game 4, bombed in game 5. Win game 6, bombed in game 7.
Game
Boom.
7 heroes. John Tavares, who we were very critical of, as most people were, he needed that. When I saw that one puck go off his skate and in the net,
Didn't count.
it's just like one of those things. But it was one of those things that was like, okay, maybe that's something a good player needs to go his way. And then he played really well after that.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews is dynamic every time he's on the ice.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner, I've felt is like a half stride, kind of off with his creativity. There's been moments where I've wanted him to shoot, and it's been, I'm going to look for the pass, which a player as great as him, I will give a little bit more leash to. But there are times late in that game into overtime where I'm like, man, you got to put the puck on the net.
Yeah. What else you got there?
Well, no, for Tampa Bay, I think it was big for Braden Point, who, of course, gets the Matthews assignment. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there.
Yeah.
But he was somebody that, to me, visually was passing the eye test, but just not getting anything. So I'm wondering, he scores that goal, his second of the series, and I'm wondering if, again, is that sort of the springboard to a player who could be very dynamic offensively. And, of course, you know what you're going to get out of Kucherov.
Yeah, absolutely. Kucherov is one of those guys. He's that guy is an animal.
Yeah.
Like he really is. He's the only guy that really that strikes fear for me as a Leaf fan watching him on the ice. I don't enjoy when he has the puck. I don't enjoy when he's in the offensive zone with the puck. I don't. That's not fun. Stamkos doesn't bother me. Vic Hedman, Hedman is a true quarterback in every sense of the word. He's a terrific defenseman. But Kucherov is the dude that scares me.
I think Kucherov is Pavel Datsyuk if he didn't care about defense and didn't play for Mike Babcock. Very similar offensive skill set with what he's able to do.
Yeah.
Now, Datsyuk became the ultimate 200-foot player, and some of that was the system he was playing in. But that's what I see when I see Kucherov with some of these shifty moves. The game seems to slow down when he has it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's
Incredible
got
vision.
I feel like he's got more shot and Datsuk had more hands.
It could be.
Like a bit of a trade-off there, but everything else, yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
And Kucherov gets the 3-minute shifts.
He's
Like, he's looking back at Johnny like, not tonight.
I'm not coming
off.
John Cooper.
Send over whoever else you want, but I'm not coming off.
Game 7, true story. The last time the Maple Leafs advanced past the first round of the playoffs was a Game 7 victory over the Ottawa Senators.
Correct.
Bunch of bad goals on Patrick Lalime, courtesy of Joe
Joe
Nieuwendyk.
Nieuwendyk.
And I was downtown at a Blue Jays game the same night, and most of us spent time up in the concourse watching the score. I think it was 3-0 after the first period, so it wasn't like there was that much pressure. But after the game, the car honking, the flags,
Sure.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's been that long since, but I remember it.
On the retail side of the Leafs fandom here, on the Leaf sales have been shallow.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Like drop it in the bucket. There's only 1/8 of an inch of water in it.
Why is that?
Because we're afraid. So that's why I've got to enjoy it for myself. That's why I'm getting out and enjoying every minute of it. Because if the Leafs get out of the opening round, markedly, you watch the other stores that are selling Leafs product, it goes right up the ladder, because then they'll start to believe, because no one's afraid of Florida, no one's afraid of Washington, nobody's afraid of the Rangers or Pittsburgh, whoever that is. Yep. No one's afraid. Everyone is terrified of the Tampa Bay, and they're just petrified of, oh my God, we can't lose again.
Yeah.
You've got the number one, you've got the thoroughbred in the barn. Like, it's too bad. Like, you drew the number one ticket, but once the first round's over, it's going to be game on for T-shirts and hat sales, and it'll be everywhere.
We got 4 hats right in frame behind you.
These are all kids. The T-shirts we've had in places of prominence throughout the store. And I guarantee if you called other retailers and you asked them, or you got right down to brass with them, they'll all say the same thing. No, Leaf sales have been slow. They've been terrible. Well, it's because we're all afraid.
So we have not only a personal rooting interest, a business rooting interest for the Toronto Maple Leafs to advance to the second round.
In a manner of speaking, because otherwise, you know what else will happen is that Leafs product will all be available on discount, like on clearance, and then I'll be able to load up for October. So either way, we got you.
And a financial interest with the bracket challenge.
And the bracket challenge, that's right. We're going to get to that in a second. Other series.
Yeah.
What have you been paying attention to?
Oh, my gosh.
Most?
Okay. Has anybody ever been disrespected more than Marc-Andre Fleury?
No.
Like, legitimately, as anybody. Hi, we got back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, Pittsburgh. Then we're going to Matt Murray you. So now you're no longer needed. We're going to expose you in the draft. You can go to Vegas. Good enough to get us to the finals. Out. Goes to Chicago. They probably do him a favor, actually, by playing him.
Yeah.
And then, give him the, idea of, okay, so you can go wherever you want. Okay, I'll take Minnesota. Minnesota, he rides all the way along. It's 3-3, and then when it's go time, Mark, we're going to go with the backup. You know, the guy that hasn't played in a month? We're going to ride or die with him.
It's awful.
4 goals on 26 shots. You know who else let in 4 last night? I did. Like, give me a break.
There's something in the water in Minnesota where every year it looks like they've got a team and a system that can win and advance. When is the last time they made it out of the first round? Like, probably a long time. It seems like they...
I'm on it, one sec.
It's early 2000s, because I remember it. Minnesota came out of nowhere and smashed somebody in 4 in, like, 2004.
So they made it to... It was the 03, the weird year. They played the Ducks in the conference final with the Marian Gaborik, Manny Fernandez team.
Fernandez, yeah.
But even the years, remember, they go in and they get Suter and Parise and Bruce Boudreau. And
in 14-15, they won in 6 games over the Blues in the first and got swept by the Blackhawks.
Yeah, but there's one before that, too, where it's just horrifying. Like, they have a very colored, like a very checkered past. They don't scare anybody. But how's this for loading the gun and then just sticking your foot out and bang?
We don't have time to do it now, but when you talk about disrespected players, or at least interesting playoff team success being sold off, there's a very interesting Paul Coffey theory out there that teams that got rid of him actually got a lot better. So Edmonton unloads him to Pittsburgh, and they still continue to win. He goes to Pittsburgh. They get rid of him to Detroit, and then they win. Detroit gets rid of him, wins the Cup the next year after that. Like,
oh my God! Okay, we're gonna have to do that.
We're gonna have to do a full episode on Paul Coffey.
Other series that have my interest, there's very few. Edmonton and LA.
Yeah.
This LA team they're full on. They're hard to play against.
They're scrappy, yeah.
They're scrappy. They're downhill. They hit hard. The goaltending has been meh. In a couple games, it's been super good. But Mike Smith, like, we're all in or we're not at all.
Yeah.
It seems like with Michael. And Connor's goal last night, like, I know Connor, because he comes around that net at like 36 kilometers an hour, puts one in on quick on the wraparound, like 2 minutes in, and it's legit like, okay, boys, Here we go. Like it's
One of
my
those
turn.
nights.
Like I've got to carry the load. Okay, no problem. Again, no problem.
Vander Kane's been great.
Lights out.
And I feel like he's an attitude that the team hasn't had in the past. When he scores at the end and does the
7.
flashes the 7,
I like it.
I don't like him per se. And
Sure.
I think he's got issues.
Sure.
That being said, he brings a little bit of moxie to that team that I don't think has been there.
That
a
I
bit.
think they could use.
All right, we need an update on the $1,000 bracket challenge, sponsored by David Dixon, Regional Director of IG Wealth Management. Go and check out our good friend Dave today. We've got some barn-burning matchups.
Holy crap.
In the
Okay,
first round.
we're going to start first. I wish I had a named, next year, last week we talked about improvements we made.
Yeah.
I wish I had a named, like the hemispheres.
Okay.
Because then, we could have,
Like the conferences.
we're gonna do it next year based on old sporting goods stores from downtown Peterborough. So we're gonna have the Valley Volley Shop division. We're gonna have the Coombs and Ferguson division.
Wow.
We're gonna have the Inside Out Sports Apparel division, and let's go with
Foot Locker.
Foot
Is there ever
Locker.
a Foot Locker here?
There was one joke of one in the mall. No, we go with the downtown heaters. So we'll allow the group to pick. There was Rackets and Jackets. There was Ski World. There was Millards. There was. We'll let the people. Anyways. Okay. Matchup number 1: Scott Trewady and Sean Smith. Sean Smith is doing yeoman's work. He's got 46 points and he's losing,
Wow.
which is hard to imagine. He'd be like,
Tough out in the first round.
no kidding. Like he would literally, he's the third highest scoring dude in the tournament, and he's getting beat by Scott Trewady by 6.
The body.
So Scott the Body Trewady
Yeah.
is firing a 52 on the board. Shout out to our man Aaron Canton. RIP already.
He's trying. I'll give him that.
trying to what?
He's
Lose? Holy smokes, Canton! You know I
Trying to
love
stay
you, B.
positive. He's down, what,
Yeah,
14?
yeah, he's trying to stay positive. He's down 14. He needs
Oh,
2
that's a
converted
big spread.
touchdowns. Dustin Clark, my man D, he's got 45 on him. 45-31. Couple of tough ones there. In the other side of the pool, Chris Mitchell. And I mean, this is self-serving for me.
That was a close one for a while.
That Mitchell design, he ran with the big dog for a little while, but you know what happens? He starts to pull away. Secretariat starts to pull away. I ripped a 7, and Mitchell had 2, and so now a 6-point lead.
Can we talk about, and I think he's in the chat, Shane Sayer.
Okay.
His matchup with Matt.
So this is the real win here. Sayer has had an unbelievable start. As I look for his sheet, an unbelievable start. This is his stat line in the first 3 nights. In the first 5. 0-6, 0-1-3. 5 nights in,
Yep.
he's got 10 points on the board, and Matt is smashing him. Now he's played himself right to the front of the line, 32-31. The real shame is that if I beat Mitchell, Chris Mitchell, if you're listening, if I beat him, I will take either Shane or Matt Couture, who is my brother-in-law,
Wow.
in the next round with the 12-point lead.
Shane Sayer is this tournament's example of, was it Strike Rich or Rich Strike? One of the
Yeah, he's
Kentucky
the-
Derby horses.
I don't know if he's the 80
way
to
at the
1.
back,
Yeah, because
and
there's
then just starts pulling out and going for it.
He's
Well-
the St. Peter's Peacocks.
he is the St. Pete's Peacocks. A couple other ones before we get to the marquee here.
Yep.
Matt D'Agostini,
Oh.
friend of the show, Dags. Dags is ripping on a 26. So you have the polarity here of Scott the Body Trewady at 52.
Yeah.
Dags has half that number. My sister, Lisa Couture Candy, only beating him by 6.
Wow.
She's up 32-26 on him. What else do we got here? Noah Crowley, who only took Toronto and St. Louis players, so he only scores on every other night. He's got a big lead on Keating by 8, Matt Keating. And in the other hemisphere, we've got Justin Million.
This
He's
is
starting to put a little distance.
this is a
between
boot
him
stopping.
and,
He's starting to lay
Wales.
one on Bobby here.
Yeah.
It's he's got a 13-point lead with a couple games to play. Garrett Sackerty,
Oh,
Sax84 on Instagram for a good time and a long time.
taking out the 2x4 to Graham Elliott.
He let the hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4. He's laid it across his back.
Graham he was livid about, he came in red hot about this morning, and then we counted up the points, and we're like, no, Grambo, it's 11.
So Sackerty is Toronto and Edmonton only.
Yeah.
So on nights where they each score 4 or 5, and McDavid goes in, he's got McDavid, Draisaitl, he's got I don't know who's in the other,
Tavares.
Willie Nylander, Tavares,
He's got
Evander
Riley.
Kane. Morgan Riley.
Graham is convinced there's some chicanery.
Because the guy's
Of
won the
sorts
only
is
tournament
going
Mark's ever
around.
done. He thinks he's just going to
I
win them
actually
all.
challenged him to come in on the pod. I don't know if he's gonna, but
He's a
to
coward.
have like a blow up.
Is he
right
going
here
to
in
like flip the
middle.
table? We're going to go Jim Rome, Chris Everett style.
Yes.
And last but not least, the M&C bracket. What's
Yeah.
happening there?
Jordan's got out to a bit of a lead. It was close. We've bounced back and forth.
We have. It's been-
We've changed leads a few times.
It's certainly been the most lead changes. But now Mercier gets himself out front with a touchdown. He grabbed
Yeah.
himself a 7. He's up by 5.
Who do you still have left?
I don't think I had anybody from Nashville. I don't think I had anybody from
I
the
hope
Wild.
not.
So I've still got people. And if we go 7 in all series, I think I'm doing all right.
Well, no. So
I need the Rangers to get
you
eliminated.
do have a bit of shot in the face here because you have 3 Carolinas and a Boston. So you're losing 1, guaranteed.
Well, I don't worry. I don't
3.
care. I don't care if I don't win the tournament. I'm just trying to beat Jordan.
Oh, no.
That's where we're at.
No, you don't want the G?
Class.
No
Yes.
problem. I'll remember that if you win.
Don't want the G.
Don't need it.
But Mercier, though, Mercier's ward is he's got 3 Rangers.
Yeah.
So he may not be partying tonight. We'll see. So those are the matchups really that you can follow us on Instagram and you can see everybody's matchup and how they're doing. It's been a lot of fun.
yeah. The banter, the trash talk.
Yeah, that's
the daily
fun
updates.
because people
Yeah.
are coming into the store and they want to talk about it, and that's fun. And they want to talk about like what's the other guy got and all this, even though
Yeah,
they know what
yeah.
they got.
When you post it at about 9:15, 9:30 every morning, which
Yeah.
is right about when Jordan rolls into the office, and
Yep.
Grambo's already in there just waiting to see what the score is. So the three of us are just arguing already.
We're perusing the Peterborough Examiner and then looking for the Capital PTBO
I appreciate that.
update.
If you do win,
Yeah.
just quickly, the theme song you'd walk into the next morning in the office would be, you have a go-to? Because people should know that you do have a famed
Yeah.
wedding intro theme song bit.
Yeah, I did. Mr.
it-
Perfect.
yeah, Mr.
was
Perfect.
my actual, like, I walked up to the altar with Mr.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yeah. So what would you pick here now to beat Latour in the opening round, knowing he's in the office? For
I don't know. I feel good question. I
On
feel
the
like the
spot.
OJs is kind of out now, isn't it?
Well,
A little political to go down that train.
If you beat me and don't come into work with Vince McMahon's theme song, no chance in
I
hell.
think I'm going Heart Magic Man.
oh yeah,
I think that's
yeah. You got to cut right to the chorus
like,
on it.
yeah, like you gotta dwindle out like the first part, but just chop it right up. That is the update on the $1,000 bracket challenge, sponsored, of course, by David Dixon, regional director of IG Wealth Management. Go and check him out. Dave, hell of a guy.
Terrific.
Absolutely love him. Sports junkie, someone who goes around, been to some of the greatest events, shares his tickets all around town. Like, great stuff. David.
I'm really happy that I never met David before we had the opportunity here at the store, and then he came in one day and terrific. He's a big supporter of the store, and we're happy for that.
The regular season will kick off in the National Football League on Thursday, September the 8th, with the Super Bowl champion LA Rams. That feels good to say.
I know. it
Hosting the
would.
Buffalo Bills in what maybe in a different universe is the Super Bowl from last year, because I think Buffalo would have been able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the next round. And I think Kansas City probably wins that game 95 times out of 100 too. But that didn't happen. But I think this is a fun way to kind of kick things off. It'll be in Los Angeles. And another tasty matchup. Fans won't have to wait long to see Russell Wilson face off against his old club. The Seattle Seahawks host the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football to close out Week 1. So those are your Thursday, Monday bookends.
they know what they're doing in week one.
Yeah.
Like they know what's good TV.
Yeah, you couldn't get two musclier matchups there for the old broadcast crew. That'll be that's exciting. The Bills and the Rams. The Rams don't scare anyone, right? They don't scare anybody
Why don't
He's
they scare
insulted.
anybody?
because
you talking about?
They,
Defending
they
champs.
beat a 4-12 team to win the Super Bowl. Like, don't worry
They beat
about
other
it.
teams to get there.
Nah,
Can I tell you, I watched the Super Bowl again last week. I'm probably up to like
The
18 or
worst.
19.
get out of here. I can't even have that.
There's like a nice 45-minute version on YouTube that I just sit down and, whatever. If I'm
Watches
taking
it-
care of business in the bathroom, let's
say
throw
just
up
watches it
and
in
look
the
for an
bathtub.
Aaron Donald sack. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Get out of here with that.
Gotta do it.
The Bills would be the early favorite on that, no? Yeah.
Chiefs, maybe.
Not at LA. I think they're.
for the
I
game.
think the LA is a 1.5 favorite, probably.
I think Kansas City is, I think that ship's taking on water.
Yeah.
For sure. Tyrann Mathieu, gone. Tyreek Hill, gone. You see Miami this week?
Amazing. Yeah.
Do you see that? They showed a little clip of like Tua in his track shorts, or he's like in track pants or whatever, and he throws the ball for Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill's got to like legit wait for it. Like,
that's going to be interesting.
Maybe don't put a clip on there of him throwing a 40-yard bomb, and Tyreek's got to wait for the ball to come in. Like, you may want to hit the guy in stride. Maybe like run a post pattern if Tua can't hang with Tyreek.
Talk about struggles. The Miami Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since Jay Fiedler was their quarterback.
Fiedler,
a year after Dan Marino. So you're going back a long time for that. Of course, it hurts to play in New England's division. So that's
for the last 20 years,
definitely been a stunt. But I'm super excited to get the NFL going. Speaking of the NFL, we got emails. My man Kirk, and if you want to email us, you can. There's a number of ways to reach out to us, including mncpodcasting@gmail.com. Captain. Not the captain, but captain at capitalptbo.ca.
Correct.
What do you think about the Tom Brady Fox deal? Two-parter, who is the best player turned analyst? And that comes from Kirk. Tom Brady, who's coming back, signed with Fox Sports. 10 years, $375 million as soon as he retires. So it's just sort of sitting on the shelf. He's the biggest star maybe in the history of the sport. You could argue the greatest player overall in the history of the sport, certainly the most accomplished. I find him oddly intriguing. I think he's been careful and manicured. I'd be interested to see what he actually brings to a broadcast. Will he bury someone if he has to?
Right.
Or is he just going to be smiley, good-looking Tom?
I think that 100%, that's the $1 million question.
Because you got to bury people. That's what makes better analysts is when you call it like you see it and you don't go in with, I'm going to bury someone. But when the opposite, when it happens, I found that with Troy Aikman for a while where he was just sort of mushy middle guy.
Yeah.
But last year, I think maybe because he knew it was a contract year.
Yeah, probably.
He decided to be a little more ornery.
Sure.
And I enjoy that as a viewer. Yeah. That's what I want.
Now,
you want a guy that's going to deliver.
Is he going to be in the booth or is he going to be like a desk analyst?
No, he's going to be in the booth.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So
really?
like Tony,
I do. Romo's so good up there.
Romo I can appreciate, but Romo's in game is what's really the sell. Like when you watch Romo and it's 3rd and 8 and it's the third quarter and there's 4 minutes left to play and Tony's saying, a play action up the middle a 45er over the middle would be what's called for here, and they pull it off, and the guy runs for a first down on 14 yards, like 8 yards after the catch. Tony calls it.
Tom can do that.
I don't know. So the one thing I didn't know about Romo, you don't know how relatable he is until he gets into the booth and what he's going to be like and how entertaining he's going to be and these sorts of things. But him and Nance seem to be good. What's the ceiling now on Tom? He must be really photogenic.
Yes.
But does he have the stories for days? Is he going to bury a guy who, and not only a guy, is he, okay, so Fox is doing the NFC Championship, as they probably always do. So you've got the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. And you have Dak that eats one, or, Dak that's coming into the game after throwing 4 picks in the first 2 playoff games or whatever. Is Tom going to be critical of his performance, or is it going to be like, today's the day, maybe he can do it?
Yeah.
I don't want the cheerleader in the booth. I want the guy that's going to deliver it.
Gambling a lot on $375 million.
Holy
now, they
crap.
did need a star because they just lost a star. They lost their entire A team, right? They lost Joe Buck and they lost Troy Aikman. So they needed to kind of come and make a splash. And some of these streaming services with Al Michaels, and they're getting ready to make major plays here. So I can understand. But to your point, some people are just too big for that role.
Yeah.
That's my, Wayne Gretzky as a color commentator. He's doing the TNT thing. I don't watch much of it. Even that I feel
it's a
in a
different
weird way is a
demographic.
little beneath Wayne, but
It is.
color commentator, you don't flip on and see Michael Jordan be a color commentator, for example. In baseball, you never saw, hey, it's Yankee baseball with Joe DiMaggio as a color commentator. Some guys are too big. It's
like
crazy.
It's just bums like Reggie Miller. Like that's all I ever get.
It's your under. Don't take shots at Reggie.
Yeah, easy.
Don't take shots at
Easy.
Reggie. But you're right. It's that sort of level, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
that I think has translated a little bit better. Some people are just like blinded by Tom Brady's rings as an audience, where you're just like, wow, why is this guy there? It's intriguing to me. Peyton Manning, to me, was natural-ish because even when he was playing, he was doing some Saturday Night Live. It was obvious he was in commercials. Tom does a little bit of that, but again, I'm just interested. As far as the best player turned analyst, probably Collinsworth would be my guy for that.
I would say so. So I think that
We're just talking football.
I think there's a real narrative here where average to star players make great analysts, great coaches, whereas the elites can do neither. And that's been proven 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Got Wayne Gretzky behind the bench is not as successful as Wayne Gretzky on the bench. So I think from the NFL's perspective, I think Peyton Manning can't do it either. I think Manning in the lane they're in there on ESPN doing the simulcast is brilliant.
Little room to breathe. Doesn't have to be Johnny X's and O's.
You don't have to fill every second with speech. There's some back and forth, some smack that goes back and forth between the two of them. Terrific. That's a great narrative. It's not $38 million worth like old Touchdown Tommy. I think this is... Unless they see something else, I don't know. I'm not big on it. I don't think the greats make for greats in the booth.
I think time will tell. He's funny. He's really funny. We've seen it on social media.
Is he, or is it a social media team? Does he have a gang of writers, or is it really Tom?
I mean, if he's got a gang of writers, he can bring that up to the booth with him.
I mean, the dude's $1 billion dude. Between him and Giselle, holy crap.
Yeah. Ryan P., he emailed us too. Easy for me to say. Patrick Marleau, Hall of Famer or not?
Ooh.
Most games played in history.
Is that a thing?
Is that enough?
Is that just enough?
Never.
I was shocked. I was shocked when I did a little bit more digging in this. I mean, 1,770 games, not even 1,200 points.
Right.
Okay. Played through the last part of the dead puck era into the clutch. Okay, make all the excuses. I was just shocked that the highest he ever finished in all-star vote, like balloting, was as the 7th best at his position.
Sure.
Only one, doesn't have a first-team All-Star, doesn't have a second-team All-Star, doesn't have a third-team All-Star, all the way down to 7. He only finished Hart Trophy voting top 10 once.
Right.
Mark, I have a rule, and some people think it's unfair. If I can't close my eyes and make a case for you as the best player at your position for at least a little bit,
Yeah.
then I kind of don't want you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And we run into this a little bit. Mark Recchi would be sort of in the same conversation where I'm just like, nice player, good player. Was he ever the absolute best at his position? No.
I think you can make some like anything. I think that you can make an outlier in any sort of thing. Sure. Mike Gardner, I don't see as being a clutch winger, but 700 goals is hard to get away from. 0 Stanley Cups, 0 MVPs, 0 not All-Star game appearances, but there's a guy there who's got some All-Star game appearances. You know, so I think you can maybe create an outlier for a guy like Patty Marleau. I got to say no. Like, games played can't be enough.
Never had 90 points.
Right. What do you have? Do you have a 50-goal season?
No.
44
44. I think that's his only 40.
Only 40.
Right.
I don't want to because I like the guy.
A part of some San Jose teams that were perennial underachievers.
Oh, absolutely.
50-win teams that couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Did well internationally, if you take that as part of the resume, which they do. Was member of 2 gold medal teams for Canada.
He'll get in, but it's the Hall of Average. It's getting close. Like, they've had some really meaty Hall of Fame years here because you've had a lot of the 90s guys all retire at the same time. So you're getting stacked groups that are going in now. But for me, 1,770 games, terrific accomplishment. You can't take that away from him, but not for me.
Always want a little more. 70-plus goals in the playoffs. Is it good? Impressive. Mm-hmm. Not many guys get to that mark.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a lot of points overall in the playoffs, but he was a little bit more of a goal man when it came to the playoffs. Patrick Marleau. Great story. Nice guy. Good leader. I'm kind of leaving him out. Mm-hmm. I just am.
I think
games
so,
played is not enough for me. I even forgot that he was the games played leader, and he didn't play this past year. So, again, he was just desperately hoping to catch on somewhere.
Yeah. No, not for me either.
I don't know. Quiz time.
Is it quiz time?
I think it is quiz time.
Oh, boy. Let's get this queued up here.
The category, gentlemen, NHL Game 7s.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
You ready for it?
Yeah, hit
do
me.
it.
strike, ball one. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Morrison. Anderson made a wild stab towards the bell. Here's another shot. Right by the floor. And he's done it. And scores for Canada. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
NHL Game 7s is the trivia. We've got a whole host of them in the first round of the playoffs for the Flashback Friday quiz, including the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Gentlemen, how confident are you in the category, first of all?
I'm a 50-50 here.
More confident than usual. Like when you toss me MLB Triple Crown winners, I'm about a 1 out of 10. I'm probably, I'm close to about a 5 out of 10.
Horse Triple Crown winners. That would be worse for you.
The problem is we're going by how many years of history? Like 115? Yeah.
There's been a few.
It's been a couple.
Spoiler alert, I'm not pulling up some 1920s Game 7 trivia.
Oh, I wanted the New Zealand Lalonde stats.
Yeah, Cyclone Taylor. All right, here we go. First question. What team has the most Game 7 losses without a win? 0-6 in franchise history in Game 7s.
Coyotes?
To get to 6 losses.
They are second, 0-5.
Oh,
There's one worse.
okay.
Does that count like the old
for
Jets
you.
too?
I actually don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know what they do with the history of the
It's
original
an odd one, yeah.
Jets.
Yeah, they
Kind
probably
of count it, but they don't. And
I think
then,
there's some parts they do like records and whatnot,
Silly.
like goal records. Okay, 0-6. Who did you say?
Arizona / Phoenix / Winnipeg.
Minnesota Wild.
No. They won one in that series that you referenced, or that run earlier.
Yeah.
Sergei Zholtok on Patrick Waugh, I think,
Oh, that's right.
if I remember that correctly. In
Zoltan.
Game 7.
0-6.
0-6. Okay.
Give me Florida Panthers.
No,
Yikes.
they won at least 2 on their way to the Cup in '96.
I will take. Jeepers, there's so many that I could, but I feel like the Ottawa Senators.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh.
0-6.
The fact they didn't have to
0-6.
win a Game 7 on the way to the Cup with like how underwhelming that team looked on paper.
No, they didn't.
That's impressive.
Also, only played one ever at home, which was kind of surprising.
That
to me.
is, that tells you how the regular season went.
NHL Game 7 is a category Flashback Friday. You can always type in and join the quiz. What is the most, I like this one, what is the most common Game 7 matchup not to feature original 6 teams? These teams have played 5 Game 7s against each other.
So both teams aren't original 6?
Yes. Neither one is original 6. So Montreal, Boston, number 1.
So it couldn't be
Toronto,
like Detroit, Colorado couldn't be
No.
one of it. Okay.
No.
Pittsburgh, Washington.
That's a really good guess.
That is a
It is
great
not. It is
guess.
not that.
The Hall of Good Guesses over here.
Yeah.
The Hall of Good Guesses.
You're on the right track, but
I'm
not
going to say it's Pittsburgh, New Jersey.
is not Pittsburgh, New Jersey. Again, you guys are thinking smart because you're going division rivals, right? Teams that met in the playoffs.
Is it how many
different
times? 5?
5 Game 7s between these two teams.
Vancouver, Chicago?
Chicago is an original 6 team.
Oh, stupid.
What a bum for saying
that's
that.
a
But
bad
no,
guess.
it's not them, even if.
Give
Oh,
me
man.
Oh, gee. Okay. The Philadelphia Flyers and Philadelphia Flyers. You're already smiling because it's wrong. Okay, fine.
Or he's smiling 'cause it's right.
he's right. Give me the Florida or Philadelphia and Jeepers Buffalo Sabres. That's wrong.
That is wrong.
Philadelphia,
Very
Pittsburgh.
wrong. No.
Oh,
All right.
Philadelphia's won.
Cutting through. No.
LA and
Dallas / Minnesota North Stars and the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, wow. I would have guessed like LA, San Jose.
Dallas,
next.
St. Louis. It's not even
No.
division.
Nope, not at all. But I
Damn.
liked your guys' thinking on that. The category is NHL Game 7's Flashback Friday quiz. What player has the record for the most points in a Game 7 with 5? There was a player who had a 5
in a
point
single
game
Game 7.
in a Game
5
7.
in
Yes.
one game?
One game.
Justin Williams. You guys missed your Game 7.
It is
No
not,
kidding.
but
the guy scored 1,000 times.
yes.
I feel like this is a Detroit Red Wing.
Look at the smug grin on his face.
So
I hate
know.
this guy.
So okay, who is it? I'm gonna guess it's Johan Franzen, the mule.
No, it's
Henrik
like-
Zetterberg.
Pavel Datsyuk.
Bring it on. No.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not Brett Lebda.
No, get out of here.
Is it a Red Wing?
It is not a Red Wing.
Oh, see, I remember.
Although you guys were
I remember-
accusing me
well,
of a little Red Wing bias.
there always is one, but I was thinking. Remember when the Red Wings pasted Waugh in Game 7? They beat them 7-0.
0-2.
Yeah, 0-2, just laid it on them. So I figured it was one of those lame ones.
5 in a single Game 7.
5 in a Game 7.
Is it like Lemieux?
No. Absolutely not.
What do you puts it on?
Disgusting.
What a
Absolutely
Mario
Lemieux. Who's that?
disgusting. 5 in a Game 7.
Give you a hint.
Yeah.
Not a Hall of Famer. Always comes up as one of the great players not to make the Hall of Fame. And he may have a local connection.
Steve Larmer.
Stevie Larmer, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Wow.
Put up a 5-point Game 7.
Those hints were way too easy.
I know. Once I said
would've never guessed
said
it.
the local
Well,
connection.
I thought I was actually I was going John Drews.
Oh,
Remember when
he
Drews
had
had
a
that
run.
unbelievable run? He scored
14
like-
goals?
Yeah, he had 9
Yep.
goals in the conference round or whatever.
What do we got? 1-1 here? Nobody got the second
Last
one?
but not least here,
I got 2.
NHL
Yeah,
Game
whatever.
7s. What two teams played the longest Game 7 ever? Bonus, give me the goal scorer and the 2 goalies involved. This is like 21, just part questions.
Okay, I know the goal.
I don't even know the game. So this isn't looking good.
It's 1930. Correct?
No, what two teams played the longest ever Game 7?
Oh, Game 7.
Not game in
Thinking
general.
game
You're
period.
thinking
Game 7
of Mud
trivia.
Bruneau,
Mud Bruneau, yeah.
who was for the Red Wings.
So you don't know it.
Just easy, big fella. I got it here. What two teams played the longest Game 7 ever?
Yes.
Bonus, give me the goal scorer and the 2 goalies. The longest
Yes.
Game 7 ever. I think I might have watched this. Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Anze Kopitar, Jonathan Quick, and Martin Jones.
Wow. No.
Imagine if I just nailed
But that
out.
was
I was going to
crazy.
say, like, holy
You
crap.
just like
that-
zoned out right there.
I-
I was just
Wow,
thinking
that
20,
can't be.
whatever year they came back from.
Am I
03.
going to Bokov? No, Martin Jones.
the longest game. Like, I feel like it's not a super long game.
This is pretty famous. Like when the cat gets out of the bag, you'll be like, oh, of course.
Longest.
Is it
oh,
recent?
Not super recent.
like 91 super recent?
30
Like
years
in
ago.
and around the area.
No, I knew it can't be. I was going to say it's Montreal and Detroit, but we couldn't possibly have that when Borashevsky
No.
deflowered your Detroit Red Wings.
Boys, you're disappointing me on this one.
Okay, just hang on a second. Don't get all like that.
I'm going for it.
Yeah, we're going to have to go for it. Like,
Give us the team, see if we get the goal score.
The Easter Epic.
oh,
Islanders and Capitals.
Yeah, so
now-
Bob Mason
Yep.
and Bill Smith and Patty LaFontaine.
You
Oh,
missed one.
It wasn't Bill Smith?
No.
Oh, it was Glenn Resch.
No.
It was Glenn Healy.
Give me one chance. No. Mark or Matt, jump in there.
Olaf Kolzig.
No, it's Kelly Rudy.
Kelly Rudy.
Jeepers.
Oh,
I'm going
'cause he
through.
had the save
73 saves.
I'm going through my 80s
Holy.
Islanders hockey cards. Yeah.
Bobby Mason, though. You
Bobby
nailed that
Mason
one.
for the Caps. Yeah.
Kelly Rudy, the bane of my existence.
Oh,
Who would've thought?
LaFontaine, of course.
Just like the spin around slapper.
Yeah. From the point.
boom.
I'll
Like
take
from the blue
I'll take a
line?
1-1 tie on this one.
Incorrect.
You didn't get two right.
You didn't get
Boy, the
Bob Mason.
Quizmaster responded this week.
Bob Mason, Kelly
we
Rudy,
didn't have a quiz last week.
LaFontaine.
That's true.
Yeah, but neither one of us got that last one because he had to give us the first answer.
No. We'll go to the judges.
Got a couple of minutes here. Thank you to everybody who's watching us, but we have a special announcement coming up here.
Yeah.
And that announcement is there's rumor and innuendo
Circling.
that this very program is going to soon be available on television.
Tell me more.
Remember, Bob McCowan used to do exactly what we're doing.
Yes.
He'd have fun, primetime sports, Rogers Sportsnet. It's not Rogers Sportsnet.
No.
It's bigger.
Your TV
Yeah.
has been chatting with us about the possibility of putting this program as a strong lead-in to their sporting coverage. So the Peterborough Lakers, Peterborough Petes, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so we will be changing our routine ever so slightly in that we will no longer be recording and doing this on Friday. We're going to be doing it on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The thinking there is if we record something on Friday and we're talking about Leafs Game 7, it would sound pretty goofy if it was replaying the next week.
6 nights later.
6 nights later on.
Yeah.
So that was the decision that was made. I'm super excited. Dan Malta, David Feely, thank you for the confidence in us. And the only thing I can say is if we can have a show, you can have a show. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. I think Tony Kornheiser said that on the very first episode of PTI. It's how I feel.
This is Dan Malta's favorite sports show, he told me.
Is that right?
Allegedly.
I can't believe that.
When Mercier called me and told me that that's what he's going to do, it was like it's a Friday night and it's late, no?
Yes.
Like telling the backstory here.
This deal was brokered like 10 p.m. on a Friday. Everyone else is shutting it down, and I'm working the
M&C's.
I'm burning the wires.
Right. You're shifting it into third, coming onto it. I like it. So, yeah, Dan and David Feely, I've never met David Feely, but I
Great guy.
Genuinely am appreciative, and for a guy like me who just enjoys talking sports and having the podcast here in my store.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, for you guys, I think it's great for everybody. It's great for listeners, and it's great for us, too, because with all respect to Sally Field, like, you like me, you really like me.
You really like me. The Vegas
you
odds
like
are
us.
out on how many episodes until we're canceled.
Yeah.
Set the bar at 4.5.
Yeah, what's the over-under?
How long did the Paul Reiser show last?
Jeepers, easy. Parenthood. Go and get that book.
Going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
terrific.
as I said, like we're going to do the late circuit. We're going to be doing some promotion on this, so you're probably going to read it.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to chat about it. It's unbelievable. It's going to be a ratings bonanza.
Are we on Mike Bullard's show? Did he call you?
I don't know if we're on Mikey yet, but definitely, Global Peterborough, we're ready.
Yes.
Examiner, we're ready.
Yeah,
This-
extra
Oldies
90.
96.7. Give us a call.
Let's get it just spinning around.
Yeah.
PTBO Today Live. We'll get it all.
Yeah,
going,
just
but it's
bring
gonna
us
be
in
a
the
lot of fun.
booth.
And maybe we'll even make an appearance on Politically Speaking. It could happen.
If Jay Amer wanted to give us a call, I have a couple of barbs that I could trade about what it's like to be the mayor in 2030. That was a story once.
That was, for sure. A lot of fun. And again, thank you to everybody who's sort of pumped up the profile of the show.
Wow. We really appreciate that.
And you can always come down here and join us live if you want to, and you'll still have that opportunity. We are at the Capital PTBO, 370 George Street. You are listening to the Capital PTBO podcast for Mark Million and producer Maddie. I'm your host, Jordan Mercier. Until next week, we will talk again.